visitors, distinguished guests, and friends. This evening, I have the pleasure and privilege to make a presentation to Avram Krengel, National Chairman of the South African Zionist Federation, who is stepping down from that position after leading the organization so magnificently for 13 years.
Okay.
When Avram took over the chairmanship in 2002, he was 33 years of age, and he was already chairman of the Mizrahi Organization of South Africa, which position he had taken up 2 years previously. To have taken up a series of top communal positions at the age of 31 makes one reflect on the nature of leadership, and in particular, the nature of Jewish leadership. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs points out that Judaism is a complex faith and that there is no one Torah model of leadership. We are each called on to fill a number of leadership roles as parents, teachers, friends, team members, and team leaders. There is no doubt, however, that Judaism favors as an ideal the role of parent, encouraging those we lead to continue the journey we have begun and go further than we did. A good teacher creates followers, and a great leader creates leaders. That was Moses' great achievement that he left behind him, a people willing in each generation to accept responsibility for taking further the great task he had begun. Friends, Avram's exemplary leadership style embodied the role of a parent, teacher, friend, and confidant. His humility and compassion, his love for the truth and for peace are amongst the Jewish values that have guided him throughout his life. He perceived the destructiveness of internal dissent and rancor, and throughout his communal endeavors, he sought peaceful and harmonious relations between all members of the community. And Shalom Bayit was his guiding principle and the key to the effectiveness of his leadership. Avram was in many ways a shepherd to the South African Jewish community. And it is no small measure of his contribution that a new generation of leaders has come forward to run the South African Zionist Federation. Avram embraced all members of the community who identified with Israel, the Jerusalem program, and the Jewish people, and he strove to build the Zionist Federation on the model of Abram and Sarah's tent as an image for the community. The tent he embraced was big enough to foster respectful debate on contentious issues, and he chaired meetings with strength of purpose and fairness. Avram has always been an enthusiastic visionary, and his love of, passion for, commitment to, and sacrifice in time and energy for the state of Israel, its people, and its rightful place in the world has been inspirational for us all. Moreover, the result of his commitment is a tangible one, evident in the communal structures he has built and the high level of Zionist steadfastness that South African Jewry currently displays. The united stand of our community and the fact that we work closely with the South African Jewish Board of Deputies and a host of other communal organizations is due in no small measure to Avram's efforts over 20 years of communal service. Besides his leadership of the South African Zionist Federation and Mizrahi, Avram is also co-chairman of the Gauteng IUA-UCF, a position he has held since 2008, and has been instrumental in building that campaign and securing budgets for the successful operation of the Zionist movement. He is also director of the Heatid leadership programs. As national chairman of the Federation for the past 13 years, Avram has been responsible for revitalizing and reinvigorating the organization, building it up in difficult circumstances and simultaneously redefining its focus and priorities. Since the start of the Intifada, which occurred at the beginning of his term, he has fought unwaveringly for Israel's rights in South Africa. He has on numerous occasions represented the Jewish community at meetings with government officials, challenging the anti-Israel invective and stances taken over the years by our government. He has borne a heavy responsibility, friends, on his shoulders, and our community owes him a deep debt for his guidance and for his support to us over these years. It was Avram who was responsible for ensuring that the offensive law concerning the labeling of goods from Palestine was significantly altered and ameliorated. He has a particular love and concern for the Zionist youth movements, their activities, and the machanot they all hold at the end of the year. His ongoing interaction with the youth groups and Zionist movements has given them inspiration and a greater understanding of their role within the community. Avram grew up in Bnei Akiva to serve as national chairman, then moved on to Mizrahi to serve as national chairman, and he always held a special affection for Bnei Akiva alumni, having been one himself. Mizrahi itself has grown under his leadership tremendously over the last 15 years, and the fact that he has taken overall responsibility for the running of this organization, as he has for the SAZF and the RUA, make him a unique leader. In recent years, he has also joined the Board of Governors of Yeshiva College, which his children attend, and manages to find time to guide the school strategically as a valued member of the board. Friends, Avram matriculated from Hill High School and gained his BCom and LLB degrees from Wits, and completed his articles at Edward Nathan and became a partner in 1998. He has since, for the past 13 years, been with Investec Bank, where he holds the position of Group Legal Advisor. Avram has shared his communal responsibilities with several people who became his mentors, and they include the late Abe Abramson, Chief Rabbi Cyril Harris, Mendel Kaplan, as well as Sender Lees and Gerald Leisner. Avram and Mendel were both instrumental in establishing the South Africa-Israel Forum some years ago, and they shared a common purpose for that to materialize. Tonight, we also thank Avram's wife, Michelle, for her steadfast support and sacrifice she has made to support Avram in his communal work over the past 13 years and more. And we also recognize his two sons, Shmuel and Mordechai. We wish Avram and Michelle many more years in communal service, and we thank them both for their extraordinary contribution to South African Jewry and the Zionist cause. Friends, I have much pleasure in asking Avram to come to the stage in order to receive a presentation.
When this evening started and the magnificent choir came up and sang, I thought this is as close as we'll ever get in Johannesburg to the Oscars. And I suppose no Oscar evening is replete without an Oscar speech, and I think they give them exactly 1 minute. So that's all I will take tonight. There really are just a few people that I want to thank that have not been thanked already in my speech. On Thursday night, the IUA hosted a dinner in honor of Nati and Francis Kirsch and awarded them the Chain of Generations Award, a lifetime Change of Generations Award. And when Nati got up to speak, he said that the most important ingredient for a successful life is marrying the right wife and he considered his 60-year marriage as his most important accomplishment. And I'm not married for 60 years, but I feel exactly the same. And I want to thank Michelle for being so understanding and supportive, for what I've done. It has taken an enormous amount of time, and thank you for looking after our two sons, Mordechai and Shmuel, and just being there for me whenever I've needed it. I also want to thank my parents, Felicia and Julius, who are here tonight, and my late grandparents. We grew up in the southern suburbs of Johannesburg, a tiny community. We were 12 children in a school of 1,200, but they instilled in us a commitment and love of Yiddishkeit, of the Jewish people, of Israel, and most of all, of the importance of communal service and the difference that that can make. I also want to thank my brother, Zev. While serving this community has been incredible in itself, to have been able to do that with Zev as chairman and then president of the Jewish Board of Deputies, and to work with him to lead and protect this community has been a highlight of my communal life, and I want to thank him for all his help and support. Thank you. And at this stage, the credits are starting to run, but one last thank you is to the Jewish community of South Africa and Johannesburg. It has been a complete honor and privilege to lead this community. It is a community that is passionate about being Jews, about being Zionists. And when you're a chairman of the Federation, you organize rallies, you organize events, but you can't force people to come. They have to come themselves. They have to want to come, sometimes standing up to enormous intimidation and danger. And the amazing part about my role is that this community has never let the Federation nor Israel down. And for that, I want to say thank you once again.